We joined Candice Bass-Robinson this morning at Bass Racing about her Tuesday runners, and looking forward to a lovely day. We also, sorry Candice, as we head into race one, you've got Einstein, one run. Could he improve?
I think he should improve, Vicky. I think he might be a better horse at Kenilworth up the straight, in my personal opinion, but you know, he can have another run at Durbanville. Actually, that run on paper probably looks worse than what it actually was first time on. He didn't actually run a bad race. He wasn't too green, and he ran on quite nicely, although he only beat 2 horses home. It was better than what it looks. So he's come on quite nicely at home. He's drawn nicely, and I think he should improve, but he possibly, I think, will be better off at Kenilworth.
Race 2, the 2 runners in the bag, and also Guguletu, who ran an absolute cracker last time.
Yeah, Guguletu, Vicky, was a good run from him. First run back after gelding, and it was quite a sort of a rush prep. He got gelded, and 3 weeks later he was running. So it was a good run. He's also doing well at home. Fairly small field, even though he's drawn 8 out of 8. You know, it's not a big field, so I don't think that should be too much of a problem. He's got top weight there. That's the only thing in these handicaps, is you're having to give away quite a bit of weight, but I think he might be good enough despite all of that, Vicky, and I expect a good run from him. In the bag, also I think it will improve quite a bit here. He's got a good draw this time. Last time he had to chase around from a bad draw, and he was terribly keen the whole way. Just he needed his run quite a bit after that. He didn't winter well, this horse, and I think I've got him in a much better space now going into summertime. He does have a bit of ability, so at the weights he could be a danger there, but he certainly will have a money chance otherwise.
Race 4, you've got Red Skyline, McEnroe and Flying Futura, or Fly Futura. Fly Futura, would he be your standout?
Definitely, Vicky. He's a lovely horse, and I think he's a horse that, as you know, as time goes on, he's going to improve all the time. He's going to be a horse that wants a bit of ground. So I'm hoping, you know, I was a little bit hesitant about a 3rd run being over 1800, but I think it should be fine for him. Vicky, he's come on so nicely from one run to the next, and I think he must have a good chance here again. He's not drawn the best, but I think he should be able to find a spot somewhere in there. Obviously, Justin's horse, Call to Unite, I think it is, looks a horse to beat on paper. He's drawn just one outside of us, so yeah, he'll have a good each way chance with Justin's horse to beat, I think. My other 2, McEnroe, horse that's also going to be looking for ground. I think he'll improve from his first run, but I think he's got a little bit more improving to do, and the same for Red Skyline. He's only had the 1 run. He needed his run quite badly. Should prefer this 1800 too, although it's only his 2nd start. Might be pushing it one step too far, 2nd run over 1800, but he's drawn quite nicely and should improve a bit, but I still think a couple of runs before they're ready.
Race 5, you've got a number of runners, including a reserve runner there, English Mistress, Heliotrope, then Flamboyant Flyer, who we've almost been tracking a little bit. She's been improving, and Grandiosa, who's the reserve runner too.
Yeah, English Mistress also improving all the time, Vicky. Last time out, she's always running on strongly. I think will also enjoy Kenilworth. I don't think Durbanville's the ideal track for her. She'll enjoy the long straight at Kenilworth when we get back there. So yeah, she's as I say, she doesn't show none of mine actually show a huge amount at home in the sand. Both, you know, they're still a little bit weak at this stage, but she could have a money chance again. Heliotrope, I think, also will enjoy Kenilworth. She's not drawn that well again. She needs to improve. She's going to probably look like she wants to go 2-4, so I don't expect too much from her again. And then Flamboyant Flyer, yeah, a little bit disappointing her last run, but I think might have just put her a little bit over the top. She'd been waiting for a run, getting cancelled and not running and all kinds of things like that. So she was she was at her peak for quite some time. So I just stepped off her a little bit now, and she's come back quite nicely now. She's fresh and she looks well. Gareth's got his work cut out from an 11 draw. She never gets a draw, so it's not always easy for her, especially in a big field like this. The filly's over 1800, so she's going to have to try and make up the ground. And Grandiosa, yeah, also improving with every run, and certainly would be looking for this sort of trip. So pity she's a reserve runner, but we'll just have to hope and wait to see if she gets a run or not.
Race 7, you've got Red Pallet. She comes down in trip. Is this, I know she's come off sort of the double, but is this trying to get her to settle in the 1400?
No, not really. Vicky, I obviously would like to qualify for the Fillies Guineas, and I was just a little bit concerned that she's only had, you know, 2 wins off a 93 rating, and the last thing I want is come Guineas Day we just don't get in or something like that. So she's just going to have another run. She's luckily drawn 1, so that helps a lot. But yeah, she's a lovely filly, Vicky. She's doing really well. She has got top weight here, but I don't think that's a huge issue. I think she's probably good enough to be able to win again in a field like this, and I think she certainly would have to be if she was going to be a factor in the fillies guineas, but yeah, I give her a good chance.
The last of your runners, race 8, Diamond Rock. First run out the maidens also since gelding. Has he benefited from that?
Yeah, he was gelded after his last win. He's actually doing really nicely at home, Vicky. He's the kind of horse that's improving all the time. 1400 is always a bit on the sharp side for him. I think he's the type of horse that will go the Derby trip, I would imagine, and certainly will be heading that way if he shows that he's good enough. But he's doing nicely. Probably will need his run back on Tuesday. But yeah, it's a nice come-on run for him, and I think if he shows enough improvement out of the maidens, I certainly will give him a bash, perhaps at the, I don't know what it's called now. It used to be the Selangor, but whatever it is now, whatever it's called now, I'll probably go there next if he shows enough for me on Tuesday.
Candice, all the best.
Thank you.
That's looking out for Red Palace, and a really lovely type of filly, but runners don't stop there, so keep an eye on them.